People live somewhere over there.
All right. Oh.
Yay. Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, Anita.
Hey,
Good to see you.
good to see you too. We'll get started in about a minute until everyone arrives, but maybe you could share where you're calling in from in the meantime. I want to know where you are.
I'm in Bellingham, Washington.
Lucky you.
This in Norfolk, England.
Hmm.
Where? Gary?
England. Norfolk.
England.
Shingle Springs, California.
San Francisco. Portugal. Beautiful. Well, welcome everyone. We will keep having more friends joining us, but this is our monthly Hylo Community Call. This is a very exciting month because we have all these very cool updates to share with you. But before we go into all of that, we really want you to meet. That's why we're here. So I'm going to put everyone into a breakout room, and I want you to share some ups and downs in your life, maybe over the last week. Something exciting, something challenging. Get vulnerable, get real, and we will be back in about 5 minutes or so. How does that sound? Yes? Awesome. Yay. Okay, we'll see you guys in about 5 minutes and enjoy meeting each other. Just gonna do, let's see, opening up the rooms, create. Okay, off you go. See you soon. Ups and downs.
You're not going to do it?
And no, you're going to do it.
Do it together.
Well, let's do it together.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Well, ups were
We can join the group we were assigned to.
how?
No, here, you can stay here. I already
Oh, we
put
can
some.
stay here.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, only if Kayali Young hangs out with us.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
bye, Kill. Ups were that I got to go to a friend's birthday party, and that was a big fun. And downs are that we've been searching for a house, but it has not been easy
I've
to
just come
find a
back.
house.
Nobody else in my room.
Oh, okay, we'll stay with
We'll
us.
join our room.
Yeah, you can be with us.
We're the overflow room.
Actually, someone is in your room. Let me just make sure. Let's see. You are Gary. You're number 3. Yeah. Maybe go back to the room, and Eric should be there.
Okay, I don't know how. Can I do that, or do you have to do that?
I can do it for you. I'll do it again. 1 second. Let's see.
Well, it was good to be in the same room with you for a moment.
Maybe we'll move to.
You might have to click on a thing. Like, do you have a little pop-up that says, oh, there we go. Eric just joined. Okay, we'll stay together. Here we go. Hello. Okay, ups and downs. Gary, go first.
Ups and downs. I spent the last week, camping in a men's camp, which was
nice.
very, very intense. It was personal
Wow.
sorts of things, talking about all our experiences of being a man, being with our fathers, our sexualities, and there was men's kinds of craft, and a bit of music and dance. It's fantastic. It's terrible weather. It rained half the time. But it was amazing. I'm still catching up on myself.
Amazing.
It was near Cambridge in England. That's me.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Well, yeah, Daniel, want to go next?
Let me get the video. Hello, everyone. I came in a little bit late, so I'm not sure what you guys are talking about right now.
Ups and downs. We're just sharing ups and downs.
Ups and downs. Well, that's a daily endeavor. I don't have any particular, I think that I can think of ups and downs, except other than the normal daily routines that we have to go through as humans. But I can't think of any particular ones that are worth mentioning. So I'll pass it on, I guess. Thank you.
So happy to see you again, Daniel. Welcome.
Nice to see you, Yasmine.
Eric. Our room's getting
Yes,
big.
are you speaking to me? My bandwidth, it's very, very low. So if you lose me, then you know why. So what's been exciting this week? I'm decided this week to be en route to Canada. I'm in South Africa at the moment. So I'm busy booking tickets and I have some business to do in Canada, and my kids are in Canada. So that's my week.
Love that. Travel safely to Canada. What part of Canada are you going to?
Toronto, Vancouver, and the Yukon.
Nice.
Yeah. I lived in Vancouver for 22 years before I came back to. So I'm Canadian, or dual citizenship, Canadian, South African. Anyway, so I haven't been back to Canada for quite some time, so I'm really looking forward to do that, meet up old friends and so on.
Beautiful. I just for the sake of time, I think we're gonna bring everyone back because we have a lot going on today. But if you want to share in the chat, maybe your ups and downs, please do. Would love to hear. And we will resume in a bit. Let's see. Let me just reset the room here. Okay.
Hi, Yasmine.
Hello.
Hello. So in my brick room was with AI note taker.
Oh my God. How was it?
It was actually very good. I got to answer an important message to my partner, so it was perfect.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. I love that. Welcome back, everyone.
Cheers.
Beautiful. Well, welcome everyone. For those who just joined us, this is our Hylo community gathering that we have monthly. And this is a chance to get to know one another and hear about all the incredible missions that we're all doing, but also share exciting updates about the future of Hylo. So maybe in the chat, I want you to just put one word of how you're feeling right now. Just one word. You want to know, just the collective. Where are we together? Excited, grateful, jazzed, happy, curious, alive. Yay. Love hearing that. Energized. Amazing. Wow. Compostable, of course. Well, with that, I have the pleasure to pass the baton to Claire to do a brief welcome, and then we'll dive in.
Okay, great. Hey, everyone. My name's Claire. I'm the director of product for Hylo. And this is our fall equinox, Northern Hemisphere global equinox call. And on the quarters, we do a special call where it's more of an update on where Hylo is from a product side. And then on the other monthly calls, we just focus on pure connection, and it's great, and we get to know each other. So today we have a lot of really cool stuff to share with you about what we've been up to. First, we're going to hear from Tibet on an upcoming feature, community moderation. And then we're going to talk about the redesign and revisit that. And a lot of you have been involved in that. And today we have designs to show you and discuss. So two pretty huge and juicy feature sets. So first, Tibet, it's over to you.
Good to see you all. Always really fun and exciting and inspiring to be here. So yeah, you may have noticed that there hasn't been a ton of new releases in Hylo recently. And a big part of that is because we are focused on this redesign and some much more significant shifts that we'll be sharing about today. There was a small release recently with a couple little things that people have been asking for, like it now tracks when posts have been edited, and we'll show that at the bottom of posts and of comments, and it also gives you the timestamp. You know, we've long said that when you post something in Hylo, it shows like 2 months ago or 3 months ago, and so if you mouse over that, it'll now show you the exact timestamp, which some people have asked for, as well as the edited timestamp. So it's a small useful thing, but we do have one big release about to come out before we do the redesign, which I will share my screen now. Oh, good. Tom has just joined, who is the developer who worked on this feature. Unfortunately, he is sick, and so I'm going to handle the demo today. But let me share, this is our staging environment. So this is not live, but it's a kind of clone of our building Hylo community in our staging environment.
But we're not
And
able to see it, screen, just in case you're sharing something.
What was that?
Are you sharing screens? Because we're not able to see it.
Oh, I can see
Oh.
it.
I can see it.
Yep.
Spamming the troll.
Cool. Glad. Yeah, so the feature we're going to talk about is we're calling community moderation. And so right now in Hylo, if you see a post that you think is breaking a platform agreement or a community agreement, you can click on these 3 dots and you can click flag, and it will send a report to the moderators and basically let them decide what to do. But that's, you know, that's something. It's a good start. But we really want Hylo to become a much more of a, you know, distributed community platform with the whole community of your group involved in creating the space that you want it to be. And so we recently released group agreements where everyone who joins your group has to agree to the agreements of the group. And kind of the next level of that is this community moderation. So on staging, if I click flag now, it pops up this thing that says, why are you flagging this? And gives you the ability to just say which of the group agreements maybe this breaks. And so, yes, here is a kind of scammy, kind of mean, like on the edge of spam post. And so someone might come in here and be like, this does not align with building Hylo. So ooh, we still have a little UI bug, something to note. And actually, I'll just close that. But yeah, so you put in what you think was wrong here. This feels like a scam. And it's also not very kind, which is one of our building Hylo agreements. It's definitely not honest, because clearly the Hylo creators are definitely not kicking puppies. We love puppies. And you know, we could go down to the platform agreements and say, this is actually spam. And so then you can submit this, you can submit it anonymously or with your name on it. And now the whole community will see that somebody has flagged this. this is, you know, a first version. Like we have, I think some of you may have seen designs that Aaron made, where people can come in and basically say like whether they agree with this flag or not. There's like a sort of next level of sophistication, but definitely a huge level up for Hylo and having the community be able to moderate itself. And so if you see a post that has been flagged, you can decide whether you want to still view it or not. And you can also click through and see the moderation log. And so right now this lives in the decisions view over here. Right, you can decide whether you want to view the proposals or the moderation log, and it shows everything that's been reported in the group, the content that was reported, the complaint, the agreements that it broke. And as a moderator of the group, I can actually decide whether to clear this or not, like whether I think, okay, this is really something that needs to be flagged and kept hidden or not. And you can still delete the content as well. We're not doing that feature.
I'm so sorry. I think I'm not the only one who's not seeing the screen. So maybe you could reset, maybe you stop sharing and then share again, see if that would work. Because it looks like I'm not the only one.
Okay.
Thanks, Yasmine.
There we go. How about now?
I can see it now.
Right.
Cool. So I was just showing this moderation log where we can see everything that has been reported by anyone in the community. And in the future, again, like I said, this will enable people to kind of +1. Okay, yes, this really broke this agreement, or say, no, I don't really agree with that, and have conversations about the moderation of posts. So I think that's all I want to share now. This is going to be rolling out in this version pretty soon, and then we'll have the next iteration coming a little bit further on. I guess I should pop into the chat and see if there's any Q&A, but yes.
Thanks, Tibet. Go ahead. Was that Krisha?
Oh, I was just wondering, should we save questions till the end, or if folks have a question about community moderation, if they should ask it now?
We have time for discussion on this now.
Great. Faizan, excuse me, sorry for mispronouncing your name, asked a question. What happens with folks who are habitual false flaggers? Do they get a warning?
I mean, at this point, that's still up to the community and up to the moderators and admins to have their own kind of process of conflict resolution or how you address it. The platform itself is not going to build in structure for that, although it's something we can definitely discuss how we might do that.
And as Tibet just pointed out, the second version of this, or the next version that we build, will have the ability for people to disagree with each other about moderation. So if I think something is inappropriate, but the rest of the group disagrees with me, the content that can then be reinstated back into visibility. And so we saw that would be kind of a defense mechanism against people abusing this feature.
And I'll just say a few words about the goal of all of this. I'm sure you've all been parts of online communities where, okay, sorry, there's a chicken in our office. Get out of here. Where there's like the all-powerful moderator, and usually those people use their power for good, but sometimes they make decisions that aren't totally clear or not everyone agrees with, and it's just not really clear what's happening, and then maybe posts get deleted or people get removed from the community, and that's just not a great experience for like a collaborative group. And it's also a lot of responsibility to put all in one person to do the moderation. So this is all in the interest of distributing both the power and the responsibility to everyone in the group, so that we can all be stewards of the vibe in our spaces, and yeah, really like all be looking out for each other. And so this brings a lot of transparency to the moderation process, and just the opportunity for everyone to be sharing their voice when something spicy comes up in the group.
Yeah. And the other what this gets us in the future is public spaces where the community can manage the public space as a commons. Right now, Facebook and all of those big public space platforms employ tens of thousands of people plus AIs to catch all of the stuff that nobody wants to see. An open source project like this managed by community is not going to have that. So we have to step up as a community to fill this role. And we see this as kind of the beginning of that feature set of sort of empowering our users to take care of the space, keep it clean and neat and tidy. Yeah.
And I will say, like, we as the platform stewards see very few flagged posts. It's not like there's a lot of mayhem on Hylo right now. But as we grow, we know that that's something that could increasingly become an issue because it is on every platform. So we're kind of wanting to set all of us up for a future where, you know, we hope that this is a place where people of many different viewpoints can come together and work together. And so there will inevitably be disagreements and things on the platform, and we want people to be able to handle that conflict productively because that's good for the group.
Yeah, and we do have to have a plan for this because we are going to grow.
Mm-hmm.
The designs we're about to show you are in a large part to help Hylo to grow, but also to help each group to figure out how to grow in new and exciting ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so once that happens, these common spaces that we're setting up will become exploitable if we don't give people the tools to manage those spaces.
Mindy.
Yeah, there's something I want to articulate, and I don't know how clearly I can do it. On the one hand, I really value this as an option. On the other, I'm very struck when I look at the platform agreements that the kind of the capacity to evict members sits quite strongly in the platform description, and it doesn't quite mesh with what I have always experienced as the high-low being and nature. And I know I'm fairly far on the extreme. I personally sit for a place of sitting with the trouble, however the trouble is, to the extreme, because I feel we're one planet. And I can't throw it, I don't have the right to throw anybody off. And I don't actually want to co-create a planet where even the majority has the right to throw a single painful, awkward member off. Mm-hmm. So at some point, I have this sense that we have to get around a table and talk about things. You know, even the most difficult customer has a voice somehow. So I just need to express that because the technology runs so fast and it sounds so clear. Yes, no, right, wrong. But actually it's more complicated than that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. We offer some guidance for community stewards on our website, and we usually only recommend removing a member from a group in the case of really extreme violations. We recommend like graduated response. And I totally agree with everything you just said. Like, we do need to find ways to work through these things. And sometimes people show up in online spaces who are completely acting in bad faith and are just there to cause trouble and disrupt the group. And for really egregious violations, like if those people are showing up and posting content that is just totally unacceptable, I think there is a time and place for people to remove bad actors. Because like it's and that's something that we can all be thinking about in our groups. And then definitely like stewards of the groups, group stewards on Hylo do have the power to remove a member from a group.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's really called for, just to protect the experience of everyone else if that person is just not there in good faith.
Yeah. And additionally, from the platform perspective, there's certain things that we, as the people maintaining the servers, are obligated to say are illegal,
yeah,
or not allowed on the platform, and we will kick you off if you do them. And most of them or pretty much all of them I agree with, but it is interesting that there is a way in which we do have to act on behalf of the state. And I do hope that you, I don't know, continue to show up, Mitty, and represent the perspective that you're holding, because ultimately that is the challenge of the future, is how do we integrate in these online spaces? How do we integrate these diverse perspectives, integrate the tension? How do we handle conflict? How do we heal the trolls?
I just want to respond to Faizan's chats a little bit. I think what was mentioned was Tibet was saying this is the first version of community moderation, and that we haven't gotten to the complete expression of it yet. And I saw that Krisha and Tibet weighed in there as well. But I think that might have been what Faizan was asking about. And these decisions are just to do with like, what's our bandwidth as a team? What's our runway? So we got out this like MVP of community moderation to start, and it's an experiment, and we're going to see how it goes. And then that's going to inform when and how we build the more elaborate version of this.
Yeah. And it was funded by Open Team. We decided together to work on it in advance after looking at all of the things that we could potentially work on together. That was the thing that they wanted to prioritize for this past season.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think we should move on because there's going to be a lot to share about the redesign. So the Hylo redesign. We started off this conversation in the early summer, and many of you have been a part of that conversation. Basically, we were honored to receive some funding from the Novo Foundation, and it's the first time we've received unrestricted funding, because usually we partner with groups and then we work together with them to build solutions for their very specific needs. But unrestricted funding is really important for us, because then we can zoom out and look at the platform and just say, like, overall, what does Hylo really need? What do our community really need? What are the biggest issues with the platform that we haven't been able to work on? The partners we work with aren't always interested in just like basic usability stuff. They usually want a specific feature. So it's allowed us to take that step back and say, what can we do to just up-level the whole Hylo experience and really meet the needs of people that are using it and dedicated to it? And so we started this redesign process, and we had a number of community calls in May and June, and we had a survey, which many of you responded to, and we collected a lot of really great input about what are the main issues people are facing using Hylo, what are the things that are wanted. Yeah, and so all of that input has been really, really great. And some of the big themes that we set out to address are usability. Just like, is it easy to navigate Hylo? Is it easy to figure out what to do? Is it easy to find the buttons? And we heard from a lot of people that those things could be improved. And some of the other themes were the mobile experience, simplifying that, making it better, and overall just like fixing every bug, making sure notifications are working properly all the time, being able to track what is the new content, what have you read and not. And so these like basic things that we all are used to experiencing in the technologies we use. So just kind of like checking off all those things and just making sure all that stuff is there. And we also talked about the onboarding experience for a new member joining Hylo, for a person joining a group, for a person creating a group. How can all of that be as streamlined as possible? And how can we make it easy to discover relevant content? And just overall, like, have a sense that it's clear, like, what to do on the platform. So we got a lot of great ideas from all of you. So thank you to everyone that participated in all of those different opportunities. And since then, we've been pretty heads down, integrating all of it, talking about all of it amongst our core maintainer team. Really just have had so many conversations and like trying to prioritize things in different ways. And really like everything that we heard from people made it into the conversation and like has shaped where we are now. And then Aaron has been taking all of this in and synthesizing it as our, what would you call yourself? Our creative director?
Sure.
Our designer.
Yeah.
And has created some really amazing visuals to represent the direction that we want to go. So he's going to share them with all of you and share the ideas behind them and how we want this experience on Hylo to evolve. And then we can talk about it. And we'd love to hear how it strikes you and what you think.
Yay.
So.
Well, I'm really excited to share this with you. And thank you, Claire. Okay, so
You can share your screen.
I will.
Okay.
I will in just a moment. So some of the goals, like specific goals, were things like, we got to make it easy to start a group. We got to make it easy to just jump in with a small group of people. The way Hylo works right now, it really starts to work really well when a group is busy with a lot of activity in it. Before a group reaches that point, it kind of can feel overbuilt. You have a lot of options in the sidebar that are just completely empty, for instance. And so we know that when somebody's creating a group, there are two conditions. There's like somebody who's like going to migrate a group that exists, or they're just looking for a space to have a conversation right now with somebody. And for that use case, yeah, we really want to make that as simple as possible, just to get started. Another core design idea that we've been working with is evolution. The needs of groups change over time, and how this manifests over a group's evolution right now is that once you reach a certain point, or you started out as a WhatsApp thread, you've reached 50 people or 100 people, it's not manageable now. It's chaotic and noisy, and you need to find a platform. And that migration process, you lose a lot of those folks, and you're sort of starting over again. But we really want to make the software suit the needs of the group in their moment of need. So not giving too much too soon, giving the right tools at the right time. So that's just a little preamble. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and let's do this. Beep. To set you up, we are starting out. I've just clicked the Create Group button in the new Hylo interface. And so to create a group now, it's pretty similar to how it is now. You know, all you really need is a icon and a name. And in the new version, we're going to have the background image as a part of this first interaction. Once I've added those, I can add members right here or jump in and start customizing the group and setting it up ahead of time before I invite people. So I'm going to click jump in. I still haven't invited anyone. I'm just alone in this group. And here we have a new section, which is a set of lessons and tracks that people can go on to help them customize and create their group and add the layers of detail that are important and orient people as they arrive, for instance, or the agreements or the about section. Tibet.
Can you just zoom in a little bit more so we can see it?
Yeah. Thank you. I'm on the home section. So one new thing is that every new group on Hylo is going to start out with a default chat room that is the home of the group. Right now, the home is a stream, which is sort of a stream of information, posts only. We realize that when groups first start out, especially, they're needing a space to coordinate with chats. Obviously, that is not the case for all groups, especially more mature groups. You don't want everyone to land in a chat room. So another really exciting part of this is that this whole sidebar is customizable, which we will get to. All right, so let's say I click this invite button, I invite a bunch of people, and my group grows from 1 to 3 people. Now there's some activity in the group. The chat room starts to fill up with replies and these little sort of system level notifications of things changing in the group. For instance, someone joining the group or the group's purpose being changed. And we can see that there's some new folks over here. All right, we're going to grow again. Go from 3 to 50 with a bunch of posts now. So now the group is becoming more complex and the menu needs more complexity over here. There's just more information. And I don't know if you all struggle with this. I struggle with this in chats, is that as soon as things pass beyond the top of the screen, it's really hard to find them again. Hylo is reorienting to sort of keep track of things as time passes and organize them. So somebody pastes a link or an image or sets up a new project with a bunch of tasks in it. It's not like you have to scroll back to find that. It moves over into the left-hand menu. And the menu sort of shows up as it's needed rather than always being there empty, waiting to be filled, which, to be honest, some groups will never use the project feature and other groups may never use a decision or make a decision together. So they don't need to see that stuff until it's necessary. All right, we're going to grow again. All right, so this is a very big group. Now we have multiple chat rooms and a bunch of a much more complex menu. These are called views over here. And as things get created, if they are of a type that Hylo recognizes, so if it's a project, it gets automatically categorized. However, we already have on the ability to on Hylo to the ability to create custom views, which is to say, I want to create a window into my group about this topic or events that are coming before this date and so on. You can already do that. And we want to expand that without, and I don't know if you saw when Tibet was sharing a screen, but utilizing these custom views plus all the default views, the entire menu gets taken up pretty quickly. So one idea for this is to allow people to put as many things as they want, but to constrain what is shown first and to show everything else in a sort of like app-like menu. So everything is never too far away and you can always see who's a part of the group. In other words, this really important social aspect of the group is never crowded out by the organizational component. Okay, so that's some of the exciting ideas around group evolution. There's a bunch of other stuff I want to show you that is just sort of like, okay, where should I start? Okay, so we were in Hylo right now. The post opens it from the side, it slides in from the right. So it's sort of like the far left is the global perspective. You click on a group, in the middle, you're in the group, and on the right, whatever you're looking at kind of slides in. We're exploring a new idea, which is, or a couple new ideas in this chat stream, which is one, to expose if there's space, like on a big screen, like we're on a big screen right now, we have this extra margin in the sides if the messages don't take up the whole width, which we decided not to take up the whole width because of readability. So what do we use that extra space for is to expose some of the comments if there is that space available. And another thing we're experimenting with is instead of opening from the side, I say I click on this, it opens it as a, it like pops off the page and expands to fill the view. That's one thing we're exploring. We're redesigning and rethinking our group settings and sort of grouping the settings and breaking them up into chunks to make them much more digestible and easy to understand and find. One piece of feedback is that it's hard to know all of the what Hylo can do. So part of this redesign is we're really rethinking not just how the settings are laid out, but how do people even become introduced to the settings. You saw in the sidebar at the beginning of this presentation, a sort of instructions for a group leader to create a set of agreements or set a purpose statement. If I had clicked on those buttons, that would take me through a lesson that's not just like a form to type out what the purpose is, but if you don't know how to do that, it will help you figure out how to set your group's purpose. And then one thing I'm really excited about. What were you going to point out?
Oh, editing the sidebar.
Okay, yeah, let's look at that. Okay, I'm also excited about that. Okay, so the sidebar is sort of, it is how groups direct attention. You know, all in the last 3.5 or 4 years that we've been stewarding this project, that the sidebar, like every group knows that it's the most important thing. So it's been just a requested feature of deeper and deeper customization over time. And I think this is not the final version of customization, but it will get us closer to what people really need, which is that they need something flexible and composable, because not every group is the same. In fact, every group is kind of different and they need a slightly different thing, even if they have the same type as another group, they're going to express that coordination pattern in a different way. So what you see here on my screen is we've renamed our home chat to Hearth, and I can add another chat room here. You can see every item here has a home button next to it, which means I could select that as my home view. Some groups want a map as their home view because they're location-based resource network. And so showing people the resources right away is really important. Some people want a list of tasks or lessons as the first thing that people see. And we really want to enable people to have control over how to guide the attention of the group towards action. So that's going to look different for every group. And so here you see a way of creating a new view. Right now I'm creating a third option for coursework, and this is a post stream. It's going to show the stream as cards, most recent first. And I can do it by type, by keyword, and so on. Again, this is all stuff that currently exists in the custom view in the settings, but by moving it into the sidebar, we're hoping to make it a little bit easier and more flexible, especially considering you can reorder everything. We thought making it editable in the same place that you would move it around made the most sense. Okay. And I'm really, really, really excited about the Commons. So the Commons. Okay, the Commons is a space on Hylo that nobody owns. But even though nobody owns the Commons, everyone here has to follow the rules. And the preview that we got earlier from Tibet is sort of part of the tooling that we've been working on called our stewardship toolkit, which is going to enable, more open commons like spaces on Hylo. And it really is not possible. We've run into, even though we haven't had a lot of acrimonious posts and fighting, there have been people posting things that we're lucky that we catch and respond to in time. And it's sort of like, okay, illegal stuff is coming too. Worse stuff is coming. We don't know how to handle that as a team of 5 people who also need to sleep. And so we really want to open this up as a commons. And so we want to give people the tools to do that. And it starts with agreements. And these are example agreements, but probably close to what we might agree to join the commons. And we're really simplifying our, currently this is the public view. That's what we're calling it currently. And we're going to simplify it a bit and hopefully make it easier to see really interesting conversations that are happening on Hylo, as well as like make public groups easier to find and join. It's there, but it's not easy for people yet. And then what else? Oh, light mode, dark mode, and custom themes. This is something a lot of people have requested for a long time, and it's exciting to be finally working on it. I would love I'm going to share this Figma in Building Hylo, so I would love any feedback on our color schemes or any feedback, period. But this is our light mode and dark mode, and the idea is warm earth tones. So would love to hear how that lands for people. And what else?
Well, we could pause and take comments.
Well, okay, one last thing, sorry. And then I will pause and take comments. So my space. Right now we have a my home. We're going to rename that my space because we're going to have home chats. So my space has your posts, and I'm also in this design introducing there's some design flaws here. A new concept, which is following on Hylo. We're not sure when we're going to do this, but we see it as an important way, an important thing we can do as hopefully soon, to allow people to have individual relationships with each other, following just being one type of relationship. But there's people I follow, so I'd be able to see all their posts, plus I could see my followers, and of course the map. And this kind of works like it does currently. Okay. Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
So exciting.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and share the Figma link in the chat if you want to comment.
I'll just say a couple of quick words, which is all this is still very much a work in progress. And we like working in the open and want your feedback throughout. There's still a bunch of pieces that have not been designed. Like you see the question of the first run user experience when you're joining a group. We've thought a lot about that. We've talked a lot about it, but we don't yet have the designs to show. I think I also just want to be really clear, like this is a somewhat major shift. It's a redesign, but we're not changing the core of the platform, and everything that's currently there will continue to exist and be there. It's not like we're taking things away or dramatically changing the feature set. besides just making it look nicer and modernizing it, using the space better, making it easier to use. Some of the like bigger things to really note are just the shift to having the default homepage be a chat room from a stream, where because more people are using WhatsApp, using Signal, using Telegram when they start their groups, and we feel like chat is just the paradigm that people start groups with. And then, as Aaron said, that like evolution to meet groups as they grow with all the other more sophisticated features and views. And then the customizability is kind of the other main thing of the navigation, of how it looks, and you know, and just making that much easier for people to understand and use.
I see we have a question from Ahmed. Go ahead.
Hello, thank you
Hi.
so much for the presentation. I'm very excited to see all of this. We've talked to Krisha before, and seems like a lot of what we're asking is already addressed here for the Schumacher College Alumni community. So yeah, it seems like there's lots of possibilities also in exploring it. So excited for it. I did want to ask, and sort of what Vijani already asked also, in terms of the user experience for people that just joined the group, and yeah, how they experience joining in, and I'm thinking about what Discord does in terms of like the steps you take when you just join a Discord community, and you know, sort of there's a guidance, you can customize the guidance to it. And sort of even like something like what you had as a guideline for the group creator. Would there be something like that for people that just joined the group?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, definitely. And I think that will be a really good flow to work on next.
Yeah.
Because what you saw is mostly from the perspective of a steward founding a group. But definitely showing the onboarding process for just an individual member is really important. And we absolutely will have guidance for members. Because members just knowing what to do next or how to engage is a real issue. So we will have like a default track for members, and then that could also be something that stewards can edit and suggest specific actions that people in the group take. So we think that kind of thing will really, really help get people like activated to participate in the group.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Thank you.
Hey guys, I just want to chime in. Awesome
Jeff.
job. I think you really are taking it to a new level. And a couple of things. I love your thinking about how people want to engage and where they want to interact, and then where they get stuck, right? Because I think that if you're not helping them get unstuck, that's where the frustration comes in, and out they go, right? So a couple of thoughts. One of them is just purely, you know, conceptual or structural. It's like, have you ever thought about putting the nav bar on the right rather than on the left? So as you click over there, then the focus is always that left part of the page. So just something to kind of think about. So now I'm like picking off a menu palette on the right, and boom, it pops in here. And maybe it's a configurable thing that people can say, I want it on the left, I want it on the right, based on what they want to prioritize. That was one thought. The other thing is, where's new content, right? So I love you're thinking about the tiles and how things are organizing, is like use of badges if there's something new in there. So I know, oh, there's a new project happening, or there's a new event. So again, right there in that, you know, it's almost like the nav bar becomes a summary of what's going on in the group.
Yes, absolutely. We've taken a lot of what is currently on the Explore page, for instance.
Yeah.
And made it very simple, the simplest version of each component, and made it easy to see whether or not there's anything new. And this is one of the deepest complaints that people have, that I have, is that it's often hard to figure out where the new thing is, or what has happened since I was last here. And so we're all very eager to solve that problem and have it feel good and easy.
Actually, the word I would use is intuitive, right? That
Yes.
people just
Yes.
naturally, it's like, oh, there's something here and it's intuitive. Because the other place, you know, I've been gone for a month and so I've got like a block of notifications now. And so
Right,
how do I
right.
prioritize that? How do I get into the nuts and bolts of that? And so that's the other thing, just having a stream of notifications, you know, is there another way to present that like builds on this paradigm? Like there's a notifications view.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much we're not showing here that's part of this
Right.
redesign, including a lot of thought into our notifications. And yes, like, that's one of the huge pain points in Hylo right now. It's hard to keep up and track what you have and have not seen. And so, yeah, there's a lot of thought being put into that as well.
Yeah, and flagging things. I think I've had this conversation with you guys. And it's like I get to something, it's like, oh, I want to flag that. I can't respond now, but I want a quick way to get back to
like
it.
a bookmark.
Yeah.
A bookmark, exactly.
I see people nodding.
But again,
Noted.
awesome job, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Cynthia.
Yeah, sorry I got on late, so I have no idea what's been discussed. But I really enjoyed Hylo for the edge walkers. And little things were like being able to pin your project at the top. Maybe you've taken care of some of those things. But also so that was really important that if I had been able to, you know, pin a few things somewhere so anyone going to my page could have seen it. But I came in on that group and then went to a few other ones. But had life turned out differently than it has for a lot of things, I would have loved to have seen a group with my disease, which is international. Twitter really has not been working. People migrated to Blue Sky, too broad of groups. So my one thought too is to be able for groups, and maybe you've all discussed all this, so my apologies, but if a very specific group came on that's national, international group, you know, someone to really help that group, almost like we did in Edgewalkers, where you had someone to help all the new members. You know, because sometimes that's part of the problem with building. And I think why, you know, there was people tried to go other places, but it didn't really work in the disability justice community. You know, you don't, eventually you don't want to go somewhere where you're going to be giving up more contacts than you have with your issues. So I think migration, if that makes sense. So if that's repetitive, sorry, but I still really like Hylo and foresee it having a lot of potential in the future for groups that aren't historically there.
Yeah.
So sorry if, like I said, if it's not relevant to the discussion, but I wanted to throw that out.
No, that's great. I mean, I really appreciate that point. Leadership is the heart of community. And even if the power is distributed, you still need people to step up and care.
Yeah,
to
and
succeed.
to kind of like in edge walkers, you know, when we had people to get us
Community
on there
stewards.
and going.
Right.
Yeah. So I think
And-
that would be for, I know at least my disability community, and MECFS, my disease, which is international. And then the disability justice groups come along too, you know. So I
Right.
think in order to do that, yeah, we need to know that there's some good nurturing early on.
Yeah, one of our dreams is to make community stewardship as a service.
Yes, that's what
more
I'm trying to
broadly.
say.
And
You
to
got it.
connect the community weavers with the communities that need weaving.
Yes, that you got it. So thank you. That's exactly what I was trying to say, that we would need some shepherding, so to speak. So, but I think there's a lot of potential. Thank you.
All right, many blessings. And I think that's it.
I would love, before we end the call, to take just maybe a minute to reflect on today's session, but also the redesign, and write in the chat. Don't post yet. We're going to do a countdown. What are you most excited about in this redesign? Well, okay, we'll spend like 1 minute, 30 seconds. What are you most excited about in this redesign? And don't post yet. right, on the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Beautiful. I am actually going to also invite you. I just made a post just for the sake of using the platform and having interaction. I just created a post. I would love for you to go in on the platform. If you haven't signed up, please do. And just copy and paste your response in the chats. That way we can share with the rest of the community who couldn't join today. And with that, I just want to say thank you for coming today. Our next community call is going to be October 23rd at 12 p.m. I just posted that in the chat. We would love to see you there. And the focus will be more on asks and gives, like really getting more into groups and supporting each other and what we're working on. With that, I don't know if Krisha, Claire, if you want to say any final words, but we're just so grateful for all of you and this amazing community that we're co-creating together. We wouldn't do it without you.
Thanks all.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you. Great work.
Oh, wait, don't go yet. I forgot to take a photo. Let's
Yes.
take a family picture. Okay, put your camera on. All right. Let me. There we go. Okay. Count of 3, 2, and yay! We did it.
All right.
See you all.
Okay.
Bye.
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 Everyone.